Commander, good of you to join us. Gotta say, your file was a pretty impressive read. I'm Colonel Fisher. You'll be reporting directly to me. We could certainly use someone with your track record. Intelligence has a situation brewing in, in Iceland. We have routine Tempest harvesting all over the grid, but some of the lights are going out, starting from the east coast. If you ask me, I reckon it looks deliberate. I want you to do a sweep of the area and flush out any Dynasty forces you might find. Remind them that the GDF isn't to be trifled with. I'll link your control interface to the battle network. If you've got any questions, now's the time to voice them. Despite what you hear in the news, the Tempest Dynasty isn't actually led by Domovoy Malkalin. You've seen his face. He's a figurehead, being puppeted around as a mascot. All because he founded the Dynasty, gave his people something to focus on in the fallout. It's PR. These days, he probably doesn't know where he is half the time. The Dynasty is actually controlled by Alex Malkalin, his son. That man's the reason the Dynasty even qualifies as a military, rather than a band of old men waving their sticks at the world because of how the war ended. They're a threat, sure, but only because they think they've got something to point. That's why we're here. Technically, the threat level is negligible. To be honest, I don't like it. If it is the Dynasty, they're up to something. There's a lot of Tempest all over Iceland, and you know they're obsessed with the stuff. Why go all that way just to harass our harvesters? They've got their own irradiated zones to squabble over. Let's hope a small contingent just got a bit too big for their own boots. Watch your back out there, that's all I'm saying. According to Scopes, nothing. We're chasing ghosts with guns. Maybe it is nothing, but I'll believe that when I see it. Take care of your units, and keep your eyes sharp. They're counting on you. Glad to hear it. Stand by while I patch you through, and good luck. I put my neck on the block to get you this position. Don't let me down. Let's see what you can do, Commander. Commander, still in one piece. Nice work. But we're not done here yet. Stand by. I'm patching you through to R&D. Dr. Francis wants a word with you. Dr. Francis, this is the one I told you about.
Just a second, Colonel. Ah, good. You're the one operating near Flotstadtstjenaf, right? Anything and everything related to Tempest research goes through my team. And Iceland has Tempest in abundance. We have over 24 harvesting jobs over there. And evidently the small military presence the Council deemed to allot us isn't anywhere near enough. The Dynasty wants the Tempest. I need you to keep them off our harvesters. I think you can do that? First time working in the field with it? Vines are usually what catches the eye first, but it's the pods that are the highest interest. The fluid inside carries an incredible potential for energy conversion. Clean and extremely efficient. Power that grows on trees. Far too hyperbolic for my taste, but you get the picture. I know Carmen and writhing, the Tempest looks downright nightmarish, but we found it favors areas of high fallout saturation for a reason. As it spreads, the radiation readings go down. Still, we have a lot yet to learn. I have biologists working on its cellular structure. The interesting thing is, it looks like a plant, but it's not. It's not even eukaryotic. Our harvesters extract the Tempest fluid directly from the pods and carry it back to the refinery for processing, and is added to your credits. The refinery can only store so much, but you can use silos to store the excess. Harvesters are shielded to prevent the buildup of Tempest charge, but take care of how you position your other vehicles. A charge plays havoc with electronics, and most vehicles aren't graded for proximity to the Tempest. The Dynasty does things a little different. Instead of a refinery, they use those huge mobile rigs. For the most part, the juice is used as an energy source. It's combustible, but the easiest and safest way to harness the energy is with simple electrodes. You don't have to worry about that, though. The Tempest you harvest is accumulated as credits, which you can then use to construct a base and build your forces. From the way the Tempest interferes with unshielded tech, it also shows potential for use on the battlefield, with charged imbued shells. We're currently field testing these. Before research was suspended, prior evidence indicates that no part of the Tempest formation is edible. Good. Take care of my techies out there. If you'll excuse me. Colonel.
Commander, I'm sending your troops to reinforce a base that just went dark. Push the Dynasty out, repair the base, and get our refineries back online. If the Dynasty are here for our Tempest, harvest as much as you can before they can take it. The nest has been kicked. Let's see what comes crawling out. Good work, Commander. Thanks to your efforts, Iceland has been reclaimed, and the Dynasty have been sent packing. All the same, the Council is concerned. The Dynasty hold most of Eurasia. They're going to have their hackles up after this stunt, even if it was just a renegade company pushing their luck. If they're up to something, we need to know. Now, the primary Dynasty HQ is in southeastern Europe. Much of their military infrastructure is centered here and around the edges of their Tempest zone. But they also have bases dotted across the continent, and Scopes has tracked some interesting movement from the west and found you a target. This is a standard intel op, Commander. Infiltrate the base, grab what you can, and get out. I'm shipping you out some of our advanced specialists for this mission. They're currently en route over the Pacific. Is that understood? The best and brightest of GDF soldiers, handpicked for their skills and trained to hone their abilities. You'll be working alongside some of them today. Pay close attention to their individual strengths and, more importantly, weaknesses. A well-positioned specialist can cause havoc against the enemy, but they are, after all, still human. It would be a great loss to GDF if you were unable to keep them alive. I'm sure you would feel the same about your career. That's classified for you and me both. All I know is that dozens of aircraft were tracked leaving from the same location to bases across the continent. At two of those bases, Scopes has stills of flight cases being unloaded. This base offers our best shot at getting inside without risking provocation. It's interesting that the aircraft all originated from northeastern Europe, though. It should be all Tempest and Fallout up there. Wouldn't surprise me if Dynasty has more bases than we can measure up in those zones. They practically worship the Tempest, and the radiation plays with our sensors. You'll be operating deep in enemy territory, Commander. As far as we know, they aren't rolling out the red carpet for your arrival, but it wouldn't hurt to be cautious. An ambush isn't off the table. Stick to stealth as best as you can, but make sure to adapt quickly and smartly if things go south. Very good. Show us what you can do, Commander. Over and out. Commander, good, you're here. The intel you brought us led to a base in Central Europe. The recon we sent in was repelled. They didn't stand a chance. The Dynasty have amassed an enormous army right under our noses. And as of 10 minutes ago, while the GDF Council was debating whether to even respond, the Dynasty have launched attacks across our western border. They've been planning this for God knows how long. I see. Stand by, Commander. I have a line for you from the Council.
Commander, it's a pleasure. Undersecretary Green, advisor to the Council of Directors. And it is on behalf of the Council that I have to say, your skills are certainly impressive. We've been watching your work. While the Council is still in session, I have been asked to get in touch. I see that you were allocated the use of some of our specialists in your last sortie. Congratulations. Do be careful with them. They are rather useful tools, and it would be a great shame for some of them to be displaced. Be sure to listen to your specialists. They have a lot of experience on the field. Oh, speaking of, if I may be so bold, you surely wouldn't object to having an advisor of your own, no? Your performance in command has been outstanding, of course, but surely such menial tasks as paperwork are beneath you. There are a few hardworking individuals I could recommend, people you would trust to...
I need my commander back, please.
It appears my time is up. Commander, it's...
Always talking, never doing. I need you to oversee the front lines. They'll... Scratch that. The front lines appear to be a lot closer to home than they were. Screw it. Commander, reinforce Munich. I'm rerouting your forces there now. You won't have long to mount a defense before the enemy reaches the city. I have reinforcements on their way to you, but you'll have to make do as best as you can. Hold the line. We can't afford to lose the city. You're up.
There you are. The Colonel's predisposed, so he sent you my way. He's not one to show it, but it sounds like you've impressed him. You're being sent to the Alps. Scopes has identified a convoy on approach from the east. We have a column of military bunkers dug into the Alps, and it looks like that's what the Dynasty is looking for. Here is where it gets interesting. There's a point where the road turns north briefly to get through the mountains. You're going to set up an ambush. There's a small satellite base up there that you can use to establish a foothold and build up your forces. Scopes is registering 6 blips on the roads to the south of your location. Don't let them through. You've been cleared for use of GDF aircraft to navigate the mountains. You're welcome for that, by the way. Not all ground forces have anti-air capabilities. I think you'll be able to put our aerial units to good use. These mountain bunkers were excavated shortly before the Third World War. Some of them were even used during... Afterwards, GDF took custody of these bunkers in the Alps, as well as others in the Black Forest, the Apennines, and the Pyrenees. Military command, data centers, science R&D, etc., all deep within the mountains. A formidable natural fortress. The mainstay of GDF Airborne Arsenal is the Peacekeeper Helo. It's outfitted with front-mounted riot suppression anti-infantry weapons, the same as your riot troopers. It trades lethality for crowd control, first slowing infantry, and then disabling their ability to use weapons. The Peacekeeper also possesses anti-air missiles. Once fired, the missiles will gradually rearm in the air or resupply much faster by returning to an air pad. The convoys will be approaching from the south, 6 of them coming from 3 roads. They're all headed towards this pass in the north. The Dynasty already has some forces hunkered down in the north that they've managed to sneak through. As long as you don't allow the convoys to resupply them, we'll be able to flush them out. That's not your concern, though. Your job is to stop the convoys. Glad to hear. You know what you're doing? Get to it. I need to get back to work. And while I shouldn't make a personal appeal here, my R&D labs are inside these bunkers. I would appreciate it immensely if you stopped them. Thank you.
Good to see you, Commander. I've been catching up on your work since I landed. I've got to say, I'm impressed. I hear the Council has been taking note of you as well. Keep it up. Hopefully something good will come of that. Anyway, I've got a heavily defended Dynasty base sitting on a huge Tempest field. It's being used to push against our frontline forces, and I'd like this base taken off the map. Sounded like your kind of thing. What do you reckon? I always wanted to visit France. Never counted on war breaking out to get me here, though. I'm here to better oversee the war across Europe. And while I miss my office back in Canada, it's better to have boots on the ground this side of the Atlantic. At least here, I'm linked in with the GDF comms grid and don't have to rely on dial-up. So, problem. The base is quite a ways into Dynasty territory. You won't be able to move an MCV through the area unnoticed. I'll send what I can your way, but you've got to work with what you have. I know how it looks. Small task force taking down a well-defended base. But it has to be done. If any of our commanders can pull it off, it's you. The GDF Council of Directors. Not the kind of people I enjoy working with. I mean, I get it. You can't have a global collaborative military without having some body of oversight to ensure each participating nation's individual bureaucratic demands are met. It's the way it has to be. It barely works, but it's a miracle it does work at all. The problem is that these politicians don't know the first thing about combat. They've never heard of the word urgent. Getting them to agree on even the most basic of things requires them to wade through masses of red tape. Too many hands on the tiller. In that case, ready up. I'm counting on you, Commander. Pull that base apart.
Commander, well met. I'm told you're the one who reacquired Iceland. Congratulations. You must be very proud. The GDF Council of Directors would like to extend its appreciation for your efforts. The figures we've seen are impressive, and it is because of this that the Council has voted to requisition your services for an important mission. Colonel Fisher has already been briefed. You'll be conducting a search and rescue operation in a major civilian center. The region has long been sympathetic to the Tempest Dynasty, and will soon fall under GDF purview. We want someone with your flawless reputation to sweep the city for those who are hurt and in need. Show the world the benevolent, humanitarian face of GDF. Not as a military might, more a protector. This will...
Director, if I may...
Excuse me, Commander. Commander, the Council needs you to mobilize immediately. Oh, and I need to inform you of the possibility of remaining Dynasty presence. If you do see any, you are authorized to abolish them in whatever ways seems most appropriate.
Excellent work, Commander. R&D has passed me some preliminary reports. It looks like the Dynasty tech's working on a vehicle-mountable voltaic cannon. I wouldn't put it past them to have backups of the data, but at least you bought us some valuable time. Dr. Francis says her team's working on countermeasures. If they'd caught us unaware with one of these tanks, it could have been disastrous. For now, we're having scopes crunch the numbers on the data we have. If we can track down any secondary sites, I'll need you to go in and put an end to production before they...
Colonel Fisher, a word. The GDF Council requires the use of your commander.
What's going on?
We have located an old temple and are mounting an archaeological dig in the area to investigate. SciComm has the details. The temple is Dynasty territory, and we will need a military escort. Your high praise of the commander suggests that they're the best person for the job.
Director, this is so far from the battle. Why send the commander there?
If I might interject, the site has come up in relation to ancient manuscripts that reference what appears to be the Tempest. Naturally, further scientific investigation into the Vine would be of great benefit to the war effort.
Ancient manuscripts? Are you saying they knew about the Tempest all those years ago?
I'm not at liberty to speculate on sensitive topics. I'm sure you understand.
GDF cannot be seen to be behind the Dynasty in terms of Tempest research. As you can see, this mission is of the utmost importance. The Council is counting on you. See to it, Colonel.
You have your orders, Commander. Let's get this done.
This failure cannot stand. The Dynasty detonated a nuclear warhead within GDF territory.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but for whatever reason, the Dynasty chose to set it off below the surface. Losses could have been a hell of a lot worse.
A nuclear warhead, Colonel. The Earth is already choking in radiation from the last war.
I am aware of the effects, but I was not responsible for its detonation, and neither was the commander.
The bomb was sighted in transit during the commander's last mission. Why did the commander not stop it?
The retreat order had been issued in the face of insurmountable reinforcements from enemy territory. The harebrained mission had been accomplished, and the order was given to prevent further unnecessary loss of life.
The Dynasty cannot be allowed to move nuclear weapons around unchallenged. The commander should have belayed the retreat order and targeted the bomb's escort. Colonel, do I make myself clear?
I think you should see this.
My God, what the hell are those things?
Director?
What was... That's not...
SciComm, Code Red. Issue an immediate retreat order to all GDF units in 10 miles. Get our troops out of there. Weapons free. These tanks fire back. Get our drone fleet in the air and get me a satellite pointed at this. I want to know what the hell we're dealing with. Commander, your forces are closest.
Commander, it's good to see you. I won't lie, it's chaos. Normally I enjoy not knowing things, but right now, we can't afford mistakes. Things are not looking good. I've seen, well, skimmed reports of mission. You pushed the enemy back. Well done. Other commanders haven't fared so well. Their weaponry is like nothing I've ever seen. The Dynasty is just crumpled. Scopes just got images of their main HQ, or where it used to be. I bet you're attacking mankind indiscriminately. But if you're counting on some unholy alliance with the Dynasty, I'd forget it. Their forces are scattering. We're on our own. The Colonel's shipping you back to the front line. Do whatever you can to stop them. It's a word one of the archaeologists found linked to the enemy. We don't know what they're actually called. All attempts to make contact have failed. They just... They've done nothing but kill since they surfaced from wherever they came from. I don't know what they want, but it involves getting rid of us. Is this retaliation for harvesting the Tempest? The footage I've seen is chilling. They're callously precise. It's like they know what humans are, like they've done this before. Great question. From your last mission, we know they're not invincible. We know they can be stopped. They fight with high-energy weapons. Their technology is astounding. I might have thought it was magic had I not been studying Tempest applications for the last decade. But all the same, the creatures themselves seem to be made of flesh and blood. Your tactics may need to change, but conventional weapons are at least still effective. I do have to say, though, maybe I'm anthropomorphizing their body language, but the Vedi seem surprised whenever they see one of their kind killed. I get the feeling they're not used to losing. Sounds like your sort of challenge, eh, Commander? They certainly have a history with it. So far, the Red Vine has defied taxonomic classification. We just don't know where it fits into the Tree of Life. It's too early to say with the Vedi, but I do have to say I'm disturbed by how human-like their physiology is. At any rate, where did they come from? Where did the Tempest come from? How did they both end up deep under the Earth's surface? I'm sorry, Commander. I really don't know. What I will say is this. We know the Tempest thrives in radioactive environments. That nuclear warhead the Dynasty were transporting, that was right before we saw the Vedi. That was the catalyst. Did someone in the Dynasty know? But then, the Vedi wiped the Dynasty out. Something doesn't add up. You're going to be the last line of defense between us and the Vedi. Best of luck out there, Commander.
Outstanding work, Commander. Not going to lie, we needed that win. We've tracked the Vedi's movement further along the Med, and some of them have made landfall on the coast of Spain, where they've established a foothold in a valley. We were about to send in some troops to flush them out, but then Scopes caught something. This is the Tempest Instability Missile. It's a Dynasty weapon. We need one. Here's where you're going to put it. There's a greater mass of vines coming from this fissure than any I've seen before, all centered on something they've raised out of the ground. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's alive, but they're protecting it. They traveled all this way to dig it up. Stand by, Commander. Dr. Francis wants to explain this. Doctor, I got the Commander on the line. Go ahead.
R&D has been trying to reverse engineer the Tempest instability effect. And with some adjustments, we've discovered a strange property. It causes the Tempest to turn in on itself. The fluid begins to eat away at the vines. The energy in the fluid, it becomes unstable, tearing them apart from the inside. It essentially shatters the vines on a cellular level. The fluid carries the effect like a shockwave. All that energy held in the Tempest, building in potency as it spreads. On a large scale, the effect could be catastrophic. The Vedi are linked to the Tempest. They use it for their power, their weaponry. I wouldn't be surprised if they consume it. Get me one of these missiles, Commander. Then buy me enough time to make the modifications. I'll see you out there.
There's an old Dynasty base between you and the Vedi. You're going to need to have boots on the ground before your main forces arrive. Take control of their base and dig yourself in. Then, get ready to fight like hell. The Council's not going to like this one, but you leave them to me. This is the big one. We're all counting on you. See to it, Commander. Let's get it done. I told you the Council wasn't going to be happy. Still, that figures. That's the price of being a hero. For being the finest damn commander GDF has ever seen. Well, in my humble opinion anyway. The Vedi invasion has halted completely. When the instability shockwave hit, a third of their forces dropped. The rest appear to have retreated underground. We're still catching some stragglers as we sweep across Europe. The structures they've built are in a deactivated state. Their gateways are offline. Dr. Francis is on the site in Spain right now. We have a lot to learn. This has left us with a problem. The human-based workforce the Vedi used. They've all been left behind. They're non-hostile, still mobile, but unresponsive. GDF has been working to corral them, but we don't know how the Vedi were controlling them, or if there's anything left of the people they were. It's like they're just waiting for their signal. As for the Vedi, I'm not counting on them being gone for good. Not by a long shot. They fought with too much conviction, too much ferocity. There's no way they're just going to run away. We hit them far harder than they were expecting, and we found a chink in their armor. But mark my words, this was a tactical retreat. We've got work to do. For now, get yourself some rest, Commander. You've more than earned it.
Congratulations, Commander. The GDF Council of Directors commends your achievements on the battlefield. We have deliberated on the next phase of the war, and we would like to make you an offer.